I am ready for the Inferno. After a solid few weeks of PvM, working our way towards the gear needed, it's time to camp here until it's complete. The Inferno is arguably the hardest content in the game, or at the very least, one of the hardest pieces of content in the game. There are 68 waves that lead up to the final boss on 69, which is TzTok. However, the unique thing about the Inferno is that these waves are typically harder than the final boss. Taking nearly 2 hours every attempt for a beginner, trying to grind this out definitely has potential to drain somebody. So anyway, let's jump into it. The scariest part about the Inferno for noobs like myself is probably the blobs. A lot of people learning tend to be terrified of these things. However, something I learned later on in this video is that when you finally start to get the hang of Inferno, they tend to not exist anymore. Blobs are scary because they will detect the protection prayer that the player is using, and will purposely switch to the opposite when it's ready to attack. So the easiest and most straightforward way to protect against them is to switch prayers every 1 tick. The way that they are set up is so that if you are perfectly switching prayers every 1 tick, it will always hit you on the opposite prayer of when it read you. The hardest part outside of blobs in my opinion is the meleeers. These guys hit hard, and if they can't reach you due to not having projectiles, they will dig towards you, making you have to think quickly to either run around it, block it, or kill it. They are not bad when it comes to just another major in the room, but the Inferno slowly trickles down more NPCs on you, and when it starts to add everything on top of the meleeer, things become tricky. The spawns on each wave are 100% random, so you can either get a lucky solve or a tough solve. The lucky solves typically allow the gamer to just kind of hide behind a pillar and take the wave slowly. These are the best and easiest waves. However, it won't always be that easy. Take a look at this wave for example. The major can hit me and the blob and meleeer are stuck behind the pillar. Great. Except the meleeer will dig and I can't DPS the major fast enough, so I have to move to the other side of the pillar when it digs. These are the tricky parts to the Inferno that take a while to get used to. Because when I moved here, I'm now tanking a bat, which is always using range, and a blob, which like we covered earlier, they are scary. The nibblers spawn in the beginning of the wave attacking the 3 pillars, and ideally, you don't want to lose these pillars. So that's also something that we have to consider saving when the situation calls. Here we are on wave 50. A major and ranger spawned, and we managed to get them on opposite sides of the pillar, making it a free and easy wave. However, our beginner and panicked brain doesn't realize that. We see the pillar being attacked south, and we want to save it. No way, I just suicided. Yeah. Okay. That was so dumb. Managed to get to wave 50 again, so here we are with another chance. I had a very nice straightforward mage plus ranger spawn. No flicking here needed, just simply kill one by one. Lag? Oh, don't lag now, hello? Oh my god. I'm actually gonna die from this. There's no way. 10 minutes later, moment of truth, and we're dead. Fantastic. After that, I took a much needed break for the rest of the day and came back fully refreshed. We're now pacing well, wave 61, which is currently our best so far. Things are finally looking good. I had an immediate misclick on the nibblers on wave 62, but we're not that far off of TzTok, and we only need the pillar for a few more waves, so letting the south one die here isn't the worst thing to happen. Other than that, I had a pretty generous spawn that let me block the major and ranger, and allowed me to play it slowly and safely. And now it was time to mentally prepare for wave 63. Wave 63 is arguably the hardest wave in the entire Inferno. This wave has 1 major, 1 ranger, 1 meleeer, and 2 blobs. That is some scary stuff. Here we go, good luck. My first plan was to click the marked tile, which would have corner blocked the mage into not hitting me, and I would only have to deal with the Melior and Blob. But me misclicking kind of just got myself killed. The Major could now hit me on that side of the pillar, so I had to find a new solve and fast. In theory, my idea here was pretty solid, but the execution was horrible. All I had to do was flick the Ranger and Blobs together, but I kind of forgot to line up my range player with the Ranger because I was panicking at the Blobs. So I ended up tanking multiple hits from the Ranger, which you should never want to do. Too much going on. Definitely a solvable wave, but need way better clicks. I've learned 3 things so far, and now I'm getting another chance at wave 63. Here we go. I should be safe from both the Major and Ranger here, so I only have a Blob attacking me and a Melior. This is a much easier solve. Not clean at all there because I really should not have tanked that melee hit. Other than that, my plan was not the worst. I wanted to just tank and ignore the Blob while DPSing the Melior, and then solve the rest of the wave with the Melior out of my head. I was able to slowly complete the rest of the wave, and in my opinion, once you beat 63, the remaining of the waves are easy until TzTok. I wouldn't necessarily say 64 is a walk in the park, but at the very least, there's no Blobs to make you panic. There's 1 Ranger, 1 Major, and 2 Meliors. So you kind of just have to focus a Major or Ranger while avoiding the Meliors. Unfortunately, I had a messy one, where I somehow ended up in the middle of both the Ranger and Major. But things did work out in the end. With the Major dead, I was able to only worry about praying range and or hiding from the Ranger and praying melee. Throughout the Inferno, when we have low HP like this and we don't want to brew up, we spam Blood Barrage, which has a chance to heal us. Wave 65 is thankfully easier than 64 because it's only 2 Rangers and a Major. So really, as long as you hide from the Major behind the pillar and leave on prey range, you're safe. Wave 66 is extremely safe. There's just 2 Majors, so as long as you pray Mage, it should be a free wave. After that, wave 67 is just 1 Jad and nothing else, which should be extremely easy after all the harder waves. I unfortunately realized a big mistake here. If you check my current inventory, I only have 2 doses of a ranging potion left. Normally, you would enter an Inferno with 2 full range pots, but it would seem that I accidentally forgot one. So I've only used 2 doses so far, and ideally, you want to keep 2 doses for TzTok. So I'm going to have to do both single Jad this wave and the next wave triple Jads with no ranging potions. This isn't really ideal, but we should be able to manage hopefully. When Jad spawns healers, we want to tag all of them, and because they will deal damage to us, we want to kind of block them all behind Jad and use them to heal up with Blood Barrage, that way we don't have to waste a brew before next wave. I accidentally forgot to block one, so I was testing my luck before I knew how hard these things actually hit. Instead of running back through Jad like I should have, I decided to just kill this one healer and heal in the ones in the back afterwards. That thing was way more powerful than I ever expected it to be, but we're fine. Now I just Blood Barrage on the back until full health, and we'll be ready for next wave. Finally 99 hit points, let's do this. My single Jad was probably 3 times longer than it should have been, but now this is where the nerves really start to kick in, and I take my time starting the next wave. Wave 68 is right before TzTok, which is triple Jads. In theory, triple Jads is surprisingly not that hard. However, after spending nearly 2 hours in the Inferno, you tend to be a bit nervous about it. Not to mention, I don't even have a ranging potion that I can drink because I need the last 2 doses for Zuk. Here we go. 3 Jads, 1 Bofa. And with 1 Jad remaining, we've essentially guaranteed made it to Zuk. I said earlier in this video that Zuk is theoretically easier than a lot of the waves. However, the nerfs tend to make it a tough fight. Here is our first Zuk attempt. The beginning of Zuk is pretty straightforward. You just follow the shield and attack him. However, this shield is what you have to hide behind the entire fight. Zuk will spawn something we call sets, which is 1 major and 1 ranger. Both of these guys will attack the shield, and it's extremely important to tag both of them as soon as possible, so that the shield doesn't die. When the set spawns when we're on the major side, it tends to be a bit harder, because that means we have to tag the major and then the ranger second. When the ranger is tagged second, we kind of just keep on prey mage and hope to DPS it quickly. That was an extremely lucky ranger kill because I somehow didn't take a single hit. Now we can damage Zuk for a little bit before running into the next phase. Zuk will spawn a Jad at 480 hit points, so it's important for us to at this point finish off the major and get ready to kill Jad while running with the shield. Really, as long as we don't misclick and accidentally prey wrong against a Jad, they are pretty straightforward and easy. Once Jad is killed, the next mechanic is when Zuk hits 240 hit points, where he'll spawn healers, which is probably the hardest part of the fight. However, there is about 2 minutes before a next set where Major and Ranger will spawn, so once Zuk is 1 hit away from 240, I'm just going to walk around with the shield until the set spawns. That way I can kill them and not worry about it throwing healers. I seem to have gotten unlucky on the spawn side again, so hopefully the Ranger doesn't give us too much trouble. I seem to have gotten lucky with the ranger not hitting me again, so here comes the hardest part, healers. There will be 4 healers equally spread out in the entire area where the shield goes, so it's best to try to spawn them while the shield is in a corner, that way you can tag all 4 in one rotation. While we also have these 4 healers dealing damage to us, Zuk is now also in his enraged phase for the rest of the fight. This means he's going to be shooting us more, and it will be even more important for us to follow the shield and not get caught lagging behind, or if one of his attacks hits us and not the shield, it will one-hit me. Well, here's a problem. I have no super restores. I had to drink my brews to heal, which drained my stats, and with no super restores, I'm going to be level 70 range for the rest of this fight. With 1 hit point remaining, there's no real reason to drink a brew again, because it will just lower my range even more. So I'm relying on my level 70 range now to pop off. For the next minute, I just have to follow the shield and leave on Prey Mage while attacking Zuk. This would basically guarantee a cape if I was 99 ranged. However, the DPS is going to be bad, meaning I probably won't kill Zuk within the next minute, and then another set will spawn. If another Ranger plus Major set spawns, and I have 1 hit point at the start, I mean, do the math, it just won't work. I legit stood no chance. It is now time to send another attempt. After that Zuk attempt, my confidence was through the roof. I was almost certain that the next time I see Zuk, I'll get the cape. Now we just have to power through all of the waves, and maybe pray flick more than we did last run, that way we don't use as much prayer. I'm already up to wave 60 again, and the supplies are looking much better this time around. Although wave 57 to 63 tends to be very challenging, but it is a great feeling when you get a free spawn like this, where you can just kind of hide behind the pillar and take your time. The hardest wave, 63, here goes. I had kind of a tough spawn here where I didn't really know what to do, because no matter what, I would be tanking either a major or a ranger, and at least one blob. I wasn't sure how to go about killing the Melior like this. I tried my best to kill the blob fast, and then maybe camp pray range. Unfortunately, my brain completely turned off once the bloblets spawned, so this attempt was not it. Wave 63 has taken me once again. Day number 3 of attempts. Today I have a fresh mind and I am ready to receive my Infernal cape. My goal today is to at the very least get to TzTok once. First attempt of the day, we got to wave 63 and a semi-free spawn because we were able to kill the Melior without almost dying. When we don't have to also worry about blobs, it can be pretty safe to just flick a ranger and Melior together. I just left on prey range. I'm dead. Something that I haven't been doing is bringing in a Falador shield. Since I have Elite Falador Diaries, I can use this shield twice a day to restore my prayer points, essentially giving me 198 prayer points in one slot. This is way better than a super restore. So instead of my shield recharging my prayer, I instead decided to wear it. That's a great way to go. I have finally made it to wave 63 again. I just need to get past this and I should be able to make it to TzTok. In the beginning of this video, I mentioned something about me later on learning to just kind of ignore the blobs. And this is exactly what I meant. I leave my prey focused on the mage or ranger and just start one tick flicking knowing there's a blob there. But realistically, as long as I'm flicking properly for the major and only looking at the major, I can just pretend that that blob isn't even there. This solve would have been scary if it was my first time trying it, but now I knew how to comfortably keep flicking blobs and where to move to avoid the Melior, making this an easy solve. With that solved wave 63, I flew through the rest of the waves and got ready for my second TzTok attempt. 2 hours in, we do not want to make this wasted time. The brews and restores look somewhat comfortable, and we still have 2 range doses for TzTok. This may be it. Same thing as last time, all I have to do is follow the shield. The first set spawned, and we have to tag the major first again, so hopefully the ranger will be nice to us. The ranger somehow never manages to hit me. Not that I'm complaining, but that's 3 out of 3 where I didn't take any damage from it. I got to Jad phase, not any issues still, just simply follow the shield and kill the boss. Now, it was time to idly follow the shield until the next set spawns, and then quickly spawn the healers and finish off this kill. The ranger finally decided to wake up a little bit and do some damage against me, but it is okay because it's now dead, I'm alive, I can brew, and it's time for healers. I was not supposed to spawn them when the shield was in the middle of the room. I was only able to tag 2 healers. The other side of the room I can't reach because of the shield. I have to wait for it to go over there. On one hand, we killed all the healers and managed to keep our health above 0. We still have super restores, however, now that Zuk has 800 hit points, there is 0 chance that I am going to be able to kill him in time. Another Mage Ranger set will spawn. I've already done 2 sets this kill with no issues. The only problem is, after healers, remember, Zuk is in enrage phase. This means that he shoots 3 ticks faster every shot, and that will make it harder to keep up with the shield. I need to be careful. If he can hit me once, I could die. A new set just spawned, so here we go. I walked too far, it's over. Man, I didn't even get a chance to try to kill the ranger. Keeping up with the shield can definitely be tough when you are really nervous. Day number 4. Starting my day off with this account's 3rd ever Zuk attempt. I am feeling good. Healers are just about to be procced, I'm just waiting for the shield to be in the corner, and then we will receive our Infernal cape. Those healers no doubt did so much damage. At this time, I wasn't even sure how I was able to out DPS that. I was confident that I just had the worst RNG ever in terms of them hitting me. I made my way back in, getting the triples again, back to back. This could be my 4th and final Zuk ever. I swear that was a misclick. I did another attempt and managed to get to Zuk again. This means that back 3 back, I was able to get past the hard waves. So there definitely is good progress for me solving the waves. This is by far our best supplies yet. 6 brews and 6 restores. Here goes our 4th Zuk attempt. I'll just skip to the only actual hard part, the healers. Here we go, time to spawn them in the corner. And on my last attempt, this is what I learned that I did wrong. During enrage phase, you are supposed to move all the way to this corner, that way you have less healers attacking you. Look at how much cleaner this is. I'm taking almost no damage. All the healers are dead, Zuk is only 400 hit points, and not even that, but I have 5 brews and 3.5 restores left. This kill has to be the cape. Yes! 16 attempts, 4 Zuks, we are done. I also managed to complete the CA no luck required, which means I never chanced any Zuk or Jad hits. It was the perfect Zuk. The account is building. We started fresh off Tutorial Island, got our max cape, got our Bofa, and now we own an Infernal cape. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below, or subscribe if you haven't. I will see you all next time. Peace out.